Hello and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. I'm Jade, and in today's episode, we're going to build out the lore of our world. We're going to create a backstory and a history that will hopefully tie together all the builds that we make, as well as inspire more builds in the future. But before we do that, we need to head into the nether to take care of some unfinished business that we started last episode. So let's go do that. So last episode we journeyed into the depths of the nether to try and find soul sand and nether wart. We did manage to find a nether fortress, but it didn't have any nether wart in it. So today we set out in a different direction, and eventually we came across another nether fortress. And after some exploration of the fortress and killing some of the nether mobs, we found the nether wart room. So now we can finally brew fire resistance potions, which will make the nether a lot less dangerous for us. And with the fire resistant potions, we dug hundreds of blocks until we finally came to a basalt delta. And there we mined up a bunch of basalt, which we're going to use in the building project for today's episode. So what is the building project for today's episode? Today we're going to build something that's completely useless other than expanding the lore of our world. And we're going to build it here where I'm standing, in the center of this island, which is located in the middle of this giant lake here, right next to our spawn. You can see over here where we have the tent that leads down into the spawn hole. And then over here is the fishing village that we've built in the last few episodes. And then actually right below us, where we're standing, is where we built the villager trading hall. So this island here, I have a few ideas for it and what I want to put here. But before we do anything, we really need to flatten out this area and do some terraforming. I've got something pretty big that I want to put like right where I'm standing. So I need to kind of flatten out. This is almost like a cliff here. And I don't know what we're going to do with this giant hole that's sitting here. We may leave it. We may cover over it. We'll have to see. But before we build anything, we have to do some terraforming. So as I do the terraforming, I'm going to talk about the lore of the world and getting down the basics of our world's history. So let's see that. So I had to think a long time about how we were going to make up a history for our world. Like, would we just come up with stuff as we built? Would we leave the history of the world a big mystery that maybe even the people who lived in the world didn't fully understand? But what I figured would be the best overall would to just be start at the beginning and outline the world's history up until the point that we're at. So when it comes to Minecraft's own lore, many of the people agree that the structures in the world were built by an ancient civilization, and I do want to play off that for our world here. I think the story will be that there was once a great society of ancient builders that used magic to build the large structures in the world and to travel between dimensions, but eventually something went terribly wrong and it unleashed the Endermen onto the world. And the Endermen were who ushered in a period of darkness which lasted until a great hero came along named Steve, and he killed the Ender Dragon. And killing the Ender Dragon freed the world from the Endermen, so now the world that we're building in, it takes place after all of that. And it's a world that is rebuilding and does not trust magic because of the evils that had come from using magic in the past. The real world, we have BC or BCE. In this world that we're building here, we have BS, which stands for Before Steve. And also in the real world, history is broken down into different ages, like the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the Medieval Age. And I think that's how we'll break down our world's history. We'll come up with different periods, and then tell what happened during each of those periods. Okay, so we flattened out this land here, and we've also shaped the land a bit so it's not just a steep drop off right here. It's actually like a hill that comes up into a plateau up here. I haven't touched any of this stone yet because there's going to be a large structure that goes here. And so we'll do that structure first, and then whatever stone is remaining we'll change out for grass. But what is the structure going to be? So this island, like I said earlier, is in the very center of our world. That's our spawn over there where you can see the campfire just right out, by rendered distance. And then this lake is really in the very center of our world, and this island is in the very center of the lake. So on this island, I want to build the ruins of an ancient city. And this city would have been built by the ancient builders, a very central and important location for them. And up on this hill, I want to build a ruined temple. And in the center of the temple, we're going to build a broken nether portal. So this was once in a temple that housed a nether portal where the ancient builders could go in and out of the nether. And it made it a very important spot in the world. But now it's all in ruins, and the people, maybe the people who live in Fisherville, they may see the ruins and they might not know what they mean or what they once were. But it just kind of adds to the history of the world. And that's why I said it really has no use at all, but it adds to the lore of the world. So we're going to get started on building this temple here, but before we do, there's an important farm that I want to make in today's episode. So we're going to take a detour and work on the farm, and then get to building on this temple. So let's go do that. So we are out here traveling to the east of our spawn because I know there is an ocean out in this direction. And there's a very special ingredient that we need for the farm that we're going to build in today's episode that can be found near the oceans. And I'm already starting to see what we need here. So if you can guess by this, we are building a gold and XP farm in today's episode. And the key ingredient for that farm is turtle eggs. It's basically the thing that makes the entire farm run, because the zombie piglins will see the turtle egg and they'll want to smash it, and then they'll chase after it and fall down to where we kill them. I figured that a gold and XP farm would be very useful, especially if we get mending. It's a good way to get XP without having to go to the end, which we will do eventually, but just not today. So we need to... I don't see any turtle eggs around. I don't know if they spawn naturally, but we need to breed together 2 turtles so they can lay their eggs, and we need 3 eggs. So to breed turtles, we need to get some seagrass first. So let's go down there and do that. I'm pretty sure this is seagrass. Yeah, I've never done this before. Turtles are something that I've never really even looked into, like scoot or anything like that. I figure while we're out here too, we can get some kelp so we can finally build the bubble vader in the spawn chunk area. And now that we've collected our seagrass, we can feed it to 2 turtles, and together they should work to lay some eggs. Hopefully they lay 3. I think it takes a little while. But we have to keep an eye on them out here as the days go by, and eventually they'll lay some eggs. Hopefully they lay 3 of them, so we don't have to do this multiple times. But I'll wait around for that, and then we'll get them with our Silk Touch pickaxe. Well, they laid an egg. The problem is it's just 1 egg, so we're going to have to keep waiting out here. This is a long process that's kind of boring. But we're 1/3 of the way there. 1 more? 2/3 of the way there. And... of course this last one gives 4. Okay, but now we have enough eggs to head to the roof of the nether and build our farm. Alright, so I finished the gold farm. The farm that I used, it was designed by Waddles, but I followed a tutorial that was made by Voltrox. So I'll link both of their videos down in the description below. It's a really simple farm to build. It only took me about an hour. And the tutorial that I followed was super well done. But it should serve our purposes here in the early game, just as a way to get XP and maybe some gold as well. But this is the farm here, so it's just 3 levels, and each level has its own turtle egg. And when the zombie piglins spawn up there on the magma blocks, they try to crush the turtle egg, so they run to the middle and they fall down and they end up on that platform over there. This guy's sitting right here, so once they get aggroed, they'll stay aggroed because this guy's here right next to me. And then they'll come over here and we'll kill them with the sword, and their stuff will go into this chest right here. It's a pretty simple concept, and it was really easy to make. We had to come out about 200 blocks from our spawn in the nether, because it has to be built over a nether waste biome. So that was the closest one around. So it is a little bit of a trek to get here. We may set up like a an ice path or something so we can get on a boat and come here real fast. And we will make this area, we'll spruce it up a lot. We'll probably definitely have to add more chests here because this will fill up very fast. And then we probably want an enchanting table up here with chests for all the books and the tools and the lapis and everything. Just so when we get the experience we can enchant. But let's see how it works here. So you have to hit one of these guys, and you can't kill them on the first hit. They have to get aggroed. So I should have brought a snowball with me, but I'm just trying to like lob. This could be painful. I'm trying to just hit one guy without killing them. They're all on like the lowest health they could be on too. Oh, it's gonna take a... Oh, there we go. So it gets super loud and they all come rushing over here, and then we just sit here with a sword. We'll probably have to... Oh my goodness, that's loud. We'll probably have to have a designated mending sword that we just use to kill these guys, but as we kill them, their XP comes underneath and it comes to us. So we can get up to 30 levels real easily doing this. And all their stuff gets collected in here. We'll probably have to sort out the swords and anything else we don't want. I don't know if we'll ever need this much rotten flesh. And now that there's crafters in the game, we can add a crafter that crafts these into actual gold ingots and then maybe even gold blocks. I don't know how much gold this produces overall, but hopefully enough so where we can... Well, I don't even know if we really need gold that much anymore. We have the iron farm. Maybe if we want to get into piglin trading, we'll need gold, but it's really loud. I'll show you what it looks like from down here. Just up into the darkness. I don't know if there's any other way to get up here, besides when we get elytra going just flying up there, because you can't put a bubble vader in the nether. So you just have to take this as a very slow route to get up there. But yep, that's the gold farm. It serves a good purpose of giving us XP. And I'm happy with it. We'll just have to make the trek out here every time we need to get some XP. So this is about how far away it is. Yeah, about 3 or 4 ender pearls to where we get to where we need to be. But that's it for the gold farm. Let's head back to the overworld and start building that temple. So as we watch this time-lapse of the ruined temple being built, let's talk more about the world's lore. I know this is already a lore-heavy episode, but I wanted to get this out of the way before we continued to build more stuff. So I said earlier that we would break the world's history down into ages, so I went ahead and did that. In total, the world we are building has been through 5 ages. The first one is the Spawn Age, and this is kind of like the Stone Age of the real world. It's when humans would have first emerged as a species and started using stone tools and dwelling in caves. The next age would be known as the Age of the Crafters. And this age saw the development of metal tools, early forms of writing, and even the emergence of like urban culture, setting up settlements and stuff like that. But this age also saw the rise of the villager, which is a different species of sentient creature in our world, completely different from humans. After the age of crafters came the age of the ancient builders, and this was when the temple that we are making was constructed, and magic was used to open portals to other dimensions. But multiple disasters would lead to the downfall of the ancient builders, and brought about the next age, which is known as the Age of Ruin. And during the Age of Ruin, society collapsed, and many of the achievements of the past were lost to time. The Age of Ruin would last up until Steve killed the Ender Dragon, and this ushered in the New Age, which is known as the Respawn Age. And the world that we're building now is currently in the Respawn Age. I think in upcoming episodes we may do a deep dive into each of the ages and break them down one by one, but I feel like we've packed this episode with enough lore already. So let's go ahead and take a look at the completed temple here. Alright, so we've completed the ruined temple, and I like how it turned out. When I was originally designing this in creative mode and looking through all the blocks to use, I originally was building it out of quartz, because quartz has good pillars, they've got stairs, they've got detailed blocks, and it's based on kind of a temple that you would see in ancient Greece, and most of those are white as well. So all that made sense, but when I was building it, it just looked too white. It was too pristine. It wasn't ruined enough. So that's why I changed it over to using gray. So using things like tuff, just normal stone, and basalt. And I think basalt makes a lot of sense for this build because of the temple's use. It was a place where the nether portal was housed, so the ancient builders would come in and out of the temple to go in and out of the nether to collect resources there. So obviously they would collect things like basalt, bring them back out, and use them in this temple that they built around the nether portal, to symbolize, hey, this is a place where you go into the nether. So it's built out of nether blocks. But let's take a look at it. I kind of just built this front part first and did not build any of the back, and just kind of put in columns and stuff where it looks like it had clearly fallen down. There's things in here like we added some moss to make it look overgrown. You might have seen in the time lapse I built this entire stone platform here first and then went back through later and put in like slabs and just normal cobble. You can see where we got like pillars that have fallen down, and then just piles of cobblestone like this, kind of symbolizing where the roof had fallen down. And the main feature is the broken nether portal, so this was kind of like the main drawing point of this temple, why people would come here. Really, it's never supposed to be viewed up close like this, but always from far away. So I wanted to kind of make it look interesting from every angle, and I think we accomplished that. Like maybe if a fisherman is coming by on his boat, you just see it poking up there at the top. Or maybe like if one of the villagers that lives over here at Fisherville, maybe like this guy comes out on his balcony and he looks over and he sees up there just the ruins of an ancient civilization, a call back to the past. He might not even know what that was for, but he knows that it's there now, just kind of blending into the landscape. And I think it adds a lot to the world when you do something like that. So we're going to take this style and kind of bring it throughout the rest of this island here. I think this will be the main focal piece. Other ruins might just be like stone in a square, like where a house had once been, and that's all that's left. But we'll definitely try to fill out this whole island here. And we need something, a good block. I haven't chosen what it's going to be, but we have to build the roads out of something to make it look like there had once been roads here, but have been grown over with grass and stuff. I still haven't decided what block to use for that. But yeah, this is the main building project for today's episode. I like how it turned out. It adds some mystery. It adds some history to the world. And I think it ended up looking good. So we'll continue more of this in the next episode. But for now, I think it's time to call this one a day. Alright, so we're going to wrap up today's episode. But before we do, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I was inspired to build this world. And not only build this world, but to start a YouTube channel, start uploading videos, and to create an entire Let's Play series around this world. Two big inspirations for me were Ethos Lab and building with BOO. Ethos Lab, he's got his long-running Let's Play, probably one of the longest-running Let's Plays there is. It's been going on for well over 10 years now, and I've watched probably about every episode. Just watching him build up his world over such a long period of time and having all that history, I really wanted to try to do that too. The other person is BOO 100 and his series Building with B-Dubs. In the second season of Building with B-Dubs, he had an entire world where he would go around building kingdoms. He would spend time in that area, kind of build up the kingdoms, build up their backstory even, and then he would connect the world together. And he was building like an entire world with history and lore, and that's definitely a huge inspiration for what I want to do here in this world. So those are the two biggest inspirations that I have for starting this world and starting YouTube. Also, YouTube is just great because it's fun to build in Minecraft, but it's even more fun when you get to share it with people and get to hear feedback, and everyone has their own part to play in building stuff and giving ideas and suggestions. It's really fun when you get a community going like that. And we kind of have that here already. Just a few, like about 50 subscribers, and we get about 100 views on the episodes now. And we get about 10 comments every episode. So I want to steal something from Ethos Lab. Every episode that he does, he ends it with a comment of the day. So he'll take a comment from a previous video, he'll look it over, read it, and then kind of discuss it. So I want to do that too. So this is the first comment of the day for us here. You should include a comment of the day in your videos. It would be a good incentive for people to comment. I guess great minds think alike. No, I've wanted to do the comment of the day from the first episode. I was just afraid that when we started that we would get no views. And I even thought it would be like even more impossible that we would get comments. But like I said, we've gotten like 10 comments per video, so I feel like that's a good amount. We can at least, I don't know if we'll do a comment of the day every video, but at least every few videos. And this person here was actually the person that gave the suggestion for the fishing village name. They named it Fishaville. So I wanted to kind of pay homage to that by letting them be the first comment of the day. And we'll eventually make like a library somewhere in the world that'll house all the comment of the days. That'll be a good project in the future. But I think that's going to do it for today's episode. We got a lot done. We built the temple, started the ruined city. We need to go ahead and get mending now that we have a gold farm so we can get XP. So I think that's what we're going to do in the next episode. We'll finish up the ruined temple and the area around it, and we'll head off and try to find a swamp village to get a mending villager and bring him back through the portal, bring him in here, and stuff him in one of these holes here, and we'll have mending. So that's the plan for next episode. Thank y'all for watching this one. Hopefully it wasn't too much lore. I won't do that much lore ever again. I just wanted to get it like out of the way so we know the history of the world, and it can impact what we build going forward. But that's going to do it. Thank y'all for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.